Deep down, every carry wants and enjoys playing Anti-Mage, but they are afraid of griefing their teammates and getting blamed, as Anti-Mage is more like an anti-carry for your teammates. But don't worry, after watching this coaching session, you will be able to play Anti-Mage like a beast. This session goes over literally every aspect of the hero. Slow battlefield timing, no longer an issue. Split pushing, dodging enemies, joining fights, itemizing properly. Literally everything Anti-Mage needs is in this session, and it's one of my best sessions so far. So your lane is gonna be LC Pudge. Items are fine. Yeah. Trying to play for runes. So just always understand that Anti-Mage is not a hero that can help with runes. So you should not participate in rune fights at all with certain heroes that don't offer anything. Like for example, Faceless Void doesn't offer anything. Right?
Okay.
Anti-Mage doesn't offer anything. Lifestealer doesn't offer anything. Luna can press Q, she's kind of decent. EA can press Meld, so she's kind of decent. SF can throw raises. Like certain heroes have abilities, like unless your hero has ability that does damage and slows or stuns, I don't think there's any point for you to go for runes. So you should never go for runes in this case, right? So what I do instead, and what mostly pros do, is that they go here. Like if they're dire, they just like run here and take this Watcher. Once you get this Watcher, you provide information to yourself and to your team. And then you just like hide here,
Okay.
right? So if you don't see anyone walking up, you just take their shield and just go away. If you see people coming up, they will obviously take the Watcher and go through it, and then you can just go back. With this information, your team knows that, okay, so if there's like multiple heroes here, we can take these runes or even fight here with an advantage, right? So always just go here, take this Watcher. Very important actually. Because when you go for these rune fights and your hero does nothing, you might end up losing a lot of HP for no reason. And the other thing is that, so this area is like very far from this area, right? So now you have to either use the portal or use your TP. Either way, you're gonna lose mana when you do this. So when you fight, it's better like you just like stay near the lane, near your own safe lane, because this is bad. We take this rune and now we're gonna TP, right? So we lost mana already. We don't have TP as well. For no apparent reason, we just did that. We didn't have to do it. Yeah. Aggro on range. Didn't exactly work. Okay. So, the reason why this aggro didn't work is, so when you play like on dire safe lane especially, you have a lot of these trees which block off vision for these creeps to chase you. So what you should do, like in comparison, it isn't the same here. If you look at it, it's like a bit obnoxious here. So what you'll see like a lot of high rank players do, they just like keep cutting trees. Especially in this thing, it's pretty good to cut trees because you're playing against Pudge, right? So you'll see him before he throws a hook.
Okay.
So either, like at this point, right, the problem is like this creep, like you aggro 2 of them and 3 of them maybe, but this creep is just getting blocked because it doesn't have any pathway because of this tree. So if you cut this tree, then it could actually just follow you, right? But now it's just stuck because of this. So you see, like it's just getting blocked. Because of this, only one creep gets on the range creep, and it's not exactly that good for us.
That makes sense. I was wondering why that always happens.
You have to understand pathing and then vision thingy. Yeah, nice. Can aggro again. Alright, so on Anti-Mage, people think like laning is like hard, which it is, but if you know what you're doing, it's actually pretty good. Like for example, at this point, this guy uses Q, right? And he doesn't have his Q for the next 10 seconds. Because the buff is gone, she gains like attack speed is gone. So at this point, if you trade with him, he's gonna lose that trade. Because he can't do anything, right? If you just like walk up to him and mana burn him, the best he can do is like run away or fight you back. And he doesn't have his Z because he's level 1, he doesn't have his Q because it's on cooldown. So you're gonna win that trade and you're gonna like deplete all of his mana, and when he doesn't have mana, he can't exactly play this lane that well. Until he gets like few levels. You have to absolutely make sure of that. Alright, another thing that you need to be like careful about is like when you see this situation, it's like, oh, there's like a lot of creeps. You just have to like aggro these inside tower. Don't even wait for them. Because this is like a huge fucking wave. Right? If you drag this, if you don't drag this in tower in time, basically right here. Right now you have 3 creeps, right? But in like 5 to 10 seconds, these creeps will not be alive, and when you aggro these creeps, all of them will hit you, right? Because there's nothing else they can aggro on. When these creeps are alive and then you aggro like half of these inside tower, you take less damage. Because not all of them are gonna follow you. But if you aggro right now, after they're dead, then all of them are gonna follow you, which you're gonna see very shortly, right? So these creeps are dead, now I'm gonna aggro inside tower, and then boom. Like we're just gonna, there's gonna be another wave which they're probably gonna pull because of what happened, right? Since we didn't drag inside tower, now we just like let them pull because we're stuck here because these creeps are still alive. So this is why you need to like aggro inside tower. Like you have to remember that the creep equilibrium of the lane is just like our goal is to have the same number of creeps on both sides, right? So when I see that they have this many creeps, it is usually a very bad sign. It's just like, oh shit, I have only 3 creeps, they have double, right? They have 6, and then there's like another wave coming very soon, and then before that wave comes, I need to get rid of this wave so that we can have a 4v4 rather than a 10v4, right?
Right.
This is why you have to just like aggro and like prevent this from happening. For this, you need to understand creep wave timers and how like your creep waves are like functioning. But because here, it's like you're gonna miss a lot of last hits, right? First of all, because there's like in tower, and the other is that they just pull, right? So you just like miss one creep there. And just in general in laning, try to understand that how the enemy here is like. For example, if you're like playing as a Kunkka here, right? So Kunkka's gonna press Tidebringer, and then Tidebringer's gonna be on cooldown, right? And after that point, that Kunkka cannot trade with me if I 1v1 him. So I need to play aggressively at that point. Like every chance I get, I'm gonna like get rid of his mana. Even though these heroes aren't exactly like mana dependent, because he can keep using Tidebringer without mana, and this guy can keep using E without mana, but it still makes a big difference, right? Like it's better than to just like not do anything.
Right. Okay.
So keep that in mind. Also, like when you buy these items, like for example, you bought like slippers and circlet, which means that you're gonna get your wraith band in just like 200 gold, which is basically, and you're gonna get like 80 from bounties. So you only have to farm like 2 or 3 creeps. You should instantly get it. Don't hold it, because there's like benefits of this item, right? For example, like if I buy this, the reason why we buy this is not because like you already have 5 agility from these components, right? The only reason you buy this is because it gives you armor and attack speed, which you don't get from just these components.
Right.
So in this case, just buy the recipe and just like don't wait for the band level win skin. I can see that you're doing that, but it really doesn't really make that big of a difference. Okay, another thing that you have to understand is that how exactly do I die in this lane, right? So the way you're playing this lane, do you like you're sacrificing a lot of last hits because you're too scared to play. But if you look at your inventory, you have 3 tangos and you're full HP, right?
Right.
Which basically means that they're doing nothing to you. Or basically you're never in a position where they can do anything to you, and because of that you're missing last hits, right? So basically try to understand that how exactly do they kill you here, right? It's like, can they actually kill you? Do they have any stuns or ways to just like kill you and you unable to like run away?
Do they? No.
No, right? Because I can just blink out. If they hook me, I can blink out. If they go on me, I can blink out. They don't have anything that can actually stop me from playing this. So because of this, I need to just like be a bit aggressive. Right, this Pudge is gonna die maybe. If not, we can just do a lot of harass. Now this Pudge is useless, right? He doesn't have any mana. So we took a good trade, and now we have like regen, so we can just use it. He says he also has 3 tangos because there's just like no one's doing anything in this lane. Okay. Again, we're like double waved because we're not aggroing properly. And they pulled again, maybe? Never mind, they didn't pull. Lucky, but it doesn't matter because this guy's gonna push into you anyway. You should definitely practice last hits inside tower. So there's like a way to do it. So what you do is you go in demo, you make an enemy axe, and you give him like 6 hearts, and then you just like make him stand behind your tower, and it will keep killing the creeps, right? Because of the spin, and he's so tanky, right? So he can't exactly die. And you make him invulnerable, right? So he never dies, even to the fountain. And then he keeps killing your creeps, and then the enemy waves push into your tower, and then you can practice CSing under tower like that. So it's like it's very good to do that as well. You can also do it in real time, but you have to experiment a lot. Also, just like a general tip, so basically aggro range is 500, and the attack range of the range creep is also 500. So basically, wherever the range creep is attacking the enemy, you can aggro from that point. Nice. Okay, this is not unblocked.
So I can aggro from the range creep?
Yes, wherever the range creep is standing, yes, it works.
Oh, okay.
That was good. Okay, so this camp needs to be unblocked after a certain point, but I feel like it's kind of fine because they're just like constantly pushing into you. But generally, it's like where you're gonna run into some lanes where the wave is gonna be constantly pushed into them if they're like playing well. And in that case, you always need this camp that you can pull and then farm something along with bringing the wave backwards to you. So if your 5 is not doing it, you just buy your own sentry. Because it's kind of like the return on investment is like pretty fucking good. And also just remember that whenever you buy these smaller items like boots and gloves, like for example, like when you bought this, let's say, so you're gonna buy this very soon, right? So you have like cash and you have boots, right? So you're waiting for a glove. But at this point, it's just like you should understand that I only have one tango, right? And eventually there's gonna be harass and stuff, so I should just get boots and a set of tangos so I can stay in the lane for a longer period of time. Rather than
buy more tangos? Or?
Buy more tangos. Okay. Like you need to just like buy, it's like in your bracket people are not gonna give you any region. That's just how it is. Like for example, like when you send out it here, I would wait. I would wait for a set of tangos. Or maybe even a sal, depends.
Okay.
Okay, so here you see this, right? It's like another situation where the enemy has more creeps than I do. Right? So at this point, what you have to do is, what do you have to do? Like it's like, okay, so if I stay here, what's gonna happen?
Probably get queued, maybe.
Yeah, I'll get queued and then I cannot, like basically, can you last it safely here where you're standing?
No.
So you need to get these creeps to a position where that doesn't happen, right? Where you can basically freely last it without getting any pressure on you, right? So if you aggro these 4 melee inside your tower or on your range, where do your 3 melee go?
Probably the ranged creep, I'd imagine. Their ranged creep.
Yeah, so do you think the LC will just ignore these creeps and just like run into you inside tower? Or will he just like focus on last hitting?
Oh yeah, he'd last hit for sure.
Right, so if you just like aggro these here instead of blinking, like even here, then you can like kill this wave very easily and actually just like be fine in this lane. But now it's just like he's denying creeps or missing some creeps and you're just like kind of scared. So just like always remember, the point of aggroing is to bring the wave to a position. Okay, that was a kill on LC, but it's fine. But the idea is that basically we need to aggro creeps to a position where the enemy cannot contest us. That's literally it. Even if that is inside tower. Okay, you see like now you're in a position, no tangos on Veno, no tangos on Spiritbreaker, no tangos on you. And now you might just die. Right? Like this. So if you had like tangos beforehand, you would be fine. And then you can just send your courier to the secret shop. That's like very crucial. Like you do this on every fucking hero actually. Not even just Anti-Mage, like every hero. Like when you feel like, okay, I don't have regen left and I'm buying something very soon on the courier, you should definitely get additional tangos. And you are never trading with this guy when he has his Q. It's just impossible to trade with him as an Anti-Mage. He doesn't give a shit. He heals so much. And all these things. Okay. Yeah, you see, like you always have to blink out because you're aggroing very poorly. And this is bad. Okay, so at this point it's just like, okay, I blinked out, right? Because I'm not aggroing. It's just like you can stand on this range sweep and aggro and then bring them here. And then when LC comes closer to you, you just like aggro backwards again. And also there's like another thing, right? He doesn't have mana to press his Q, so you shouldn't be scared at all. Right? If you're like if you're playing Anti-Mage, you should always understand that whenever I like trade with the enemy, I deplete their mana. Right? So I have to make sure I'm watching this. Like when he comes closer to you, he does not have mana. You just like run away for no reason, right? So you can just aggro. So when you aggro, you farm this, you ditch the range creep, you bring this wave inside tower, and then after that what you do is that you just pull this. Because your wave is gonna push in, right? Then you just pull this. And when you pull this, as an Anti-Mage, we don't have any wave clear. As an Anti-Mage, before Battle Fury, we cannot even jungle that fast, right? Because we don't even have Cornucopia, so we don't have any regen. And if you try to take this, what's gonna happen is we're gonna lose all our HP. So we need to figure out a way to bring the wave back while also farming something without losing our HP, right? So when we pull this onto the wave, we can very freely farm this without losing HP because the creeps are tanking for us. And then we'll also get to farm this, which is a plus point, like 2 plus points, and then we also bring the wave back. So when you do this, right? It's like first thing is that you should aggro. The second is that you should wait for this wave and then pull. So when you do this, right, you lose HP, and now the wave is here, right? So now it's like, okay, I cannot go back to this lane anymore, even though you're probably much ahead of this LC, right? You're like 600 gold ahead of the LC. You have your cornucopia at 8 minutes. If you keep doing these things, right, and maintain your HP, you can probably have 4.5k net worth at 10 and probably have your Battle Fury by 13 minutes easily, because you're like, you only need like a very few amount of gold. But since we're doing this, now the wave is just stuck here, right? What is this? Now I'm just like doing this when I'm losing HP. Nothing's happening.
Right.
I need to still like go here and pull. I can pull again, but I'm not doing it. The wave's not coming back. You don't have to rely on your Venom to do this. You don't give a shit. And the best part about doing this post like 7 minutes is that you can also get a neutral item without losing your HP. And when you get it, you can get like some healing item. Like again, we're doing this. Like you see, like we're just missing waves. So I'm just gonna like do an analysis, right? So this is very good. Like if you get this one, the Seeds of Serenity, always get that one. That's better for region than this one now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so basically let's do some analysis, right? Let's just go a minute back. Where was it? Here? I think it was here. Okay. You're gonna farm this. Very cool. Everything's nice and easy. Right? Okay, so at this point, let's see how many creeps you actually miss. Right, so you're gonna get like one, maybe? One, and then you're gonna miss these three. Right, so at this point onwards, just look at your net worth, right? It's like 3.3k. And then we're missing 3 creeps. 0.3k. So it's been like a minute and we only farmed like 200 gold. And we missed out on 1, 2, 3 waves. And this is like the 4th. This is probably the 3rd wave that we're missing. 3rd wave missed. 4th wave is also gonna miss because we don't have any HP, right? We bought a salve as well. You see, the only reason you can't play here is like 2. 1 is that you're not understanding how exactly he kills you on LC, right? 2, you're not pulling. You're not thinking about how do I bring the wave back. Like carries like AM, carries like Faceless Void, PA, they cannot jungle before Battle Fury or like Mask of Madness, right? So until that point, you need to stay in the lane for as long as possible. You need to be able to last it for as long as possible, right? So if you don't figure out a way to bring the wave back, you're not gonna get any creep waves, right? And the other thing is that it's like you're kind of maybe you're like full HP, but you're scared of the LC that he might kill you, right? With the duel.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he can't kill you. If you put like your treads on strength and you have a safety bubble and you keep aggroing, he can never kill you because he doesn't have blade mail. He doesn't have enough damage to do that. So it's like his duel is like 3.75 seconds and he cannot do that much damage to you in that duration. So if you were like aware of that, you would be here, like even if you're not pulling, you would be here and trying to aggro these thieves backwards. But because now you're just like you see like your net worth, right? You were 3.3k 2 minutes ago. And in 2 minutes you only farmed like 300 gold, 400 gold. You think that's good?
Yeah. No, definitely not.
So now you finally get a pull and this wave is gonna come back. It's like a half a pull, but it's still gonna do something. Maybe not. You see that this guy is just like, we were so far ahead of him. We were 700 gold ahead of him, but we just like gave him the lane for free, right? So you mentioned that I was so scared to walk up in this lane, but do you feel like that was the case after like going over this laning phase? You feel like they were like...
Yeah. Probably not, yeah, now that you mention it.
Pulling
I
really
feel
strong.
like I'm always fucking dying in the game, so I start playing like this.
The thing is, like it's fine, it's logical that you're not playing in front of this guy, which is correct in some sense, right? But why are we not finding a way to bring this wave back? It's just like, what will happen?
Right.
It's just like, we can always pull, right? We can always pull. And if we can't pull, that means this camp is blocked, which means that we can just unblock it with buying down sentry. This is why I said the ROI on this is like really good, right? Because you can constantly pull and bring like a one wave back and then push it out and then do whatever you want, right? But we're not doing that, so our net worth is like really low. Like you had 3.3k net worth like almost 3 minutes ago, which means that you could have had like, you could have been like highest net worth if you didn't miss like 6 waves. 6 waves is like around 1200 gold. And then you also farmed this, right? So you could have been much higher easily here. Because also the fact that you have like 90 plus damage, you're not going to miss Last Under Tower anymore. So because of these things, you're just going to suffer. Like you are going back here, which is fine, but now you have to be like, I don't think this is good personally. Yeah, you see. I don't know actually, like I can just TP and kill you both. Not TPing for some reason. The reason why I say this is bad is because he has a TP, right? You can TP, X mark both you. What do? You just die. So this is why I just like don't want to make any moves in front of the enemy tower if the enemy mid laner has a TP. Yeah, nice. We're farming. Okay, so we're gonna just like. So after this point, what should we do? Right here, exactly.
Pull the wave.
Pull the wave, right? Why?
So I can get lane creeps.
Why do we not farm the next wave?
Oh, because it's under tower.
Okay, so you know creep wave timers, right? Or are you like not that much familiar with them?
No, I am. Yeah, I remember them.
Okay, because they are very, very crucial on AM.
It's by the T2 right now, right? Like almost there.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, if you don't know creep wave timers on AM, you cannot play this hero well. That's just how it is. Because it's like
that makes sense.
Because you're gonna cut waves, right? And if you don't see them, what are you gonna do? So creep wave timers were mega important. But you see, you hit this camp rather than pulling. And then, I mean, it still might work out, but the thing is, would you rather have the wave here or here? Here, right? It's just like okay, I can be here, but this Kunkka can just always fucking TP and kill me, so I'm like kind of scared of doing this. You're just like purposely farming slower because you're not getting any creep waves. Until Battle Fury, you need to get like you're just like farming slower on your own. Like the only reason you have decent amount of is because you got a kill here, like a double kill or some shit. Because you got some gold. Otherwise, you're not getting any gold from these creeps. Like, you see, there's like a big wave. You have to go for it. It's like LC has Blade Mill now, so I'm actually fucking scared, right? I had this window of like 6 minutes where we didn't had it, and now I'm just like struggling here. See, like you're not farming any creep waves, which is why your Battle Fury is gonna be super delayed. You see, even with this, you almost have like a 14.5 minutes Battle Fury. So imagine if you did all of what I just said, you could probably get it 12 minutes maybe. Which is like an insane timing, right? At 16 minutes or 15 minutes, you would have your Yasha. So it's just like when you look at their lineup, right? What are potential ways they can kill you? Potential and reliable ways they can kill you that you cannot do anything about. Actually, wait.
Probably X mark the spot and duel.
Okay, I have like better question as well.
And then Pudge ult.
So, how exactly does Anti-Mage die?
Either he gets sent back after blinking or he gets stunned, I'd imagine.
So basically, inability to blink out of situations, right? So inability to blink out of situations basically means that I'm stunned, I'm rooted, I'm silenced, right? All these things. So when you look at their lineup, it's like, okay, yeah, Pudge can ult me, right? Pudge can ult me, but do you think dodging, like reflecting Pudge ult is easy?
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
It's pretty easy, right? So, but if he has a blink, is it still easy?
No, it depends.
Slightly harder,
how much
right?
Attention
slightly harder.
You're paying.
Yeah, so it's just like slightly harder, right? So, but Pudge is a support, so we're probably gonna expect this guy to get a really late blink, right?
Right, yeah.
So, Pudge is not an issue, right? I don't give a fuck about Pudge when I'm like pushing lane. So, Kunkka can X-mark me from Fog, which is actually a really big issue, right? So, I'm gonna be aware of Kunkka. And LC can duel me, but same thing as before. Do you think LC can just like walk up to you and duel you?
Nah, she needs a blink.
She needs a blink. So, she bought a Blade Mail. Blink is probably gonna be like far away. So, she's not an issue. Is Juggernaut an issue?
Not yet.
Not yet and not ever, probably. Unless I blink in stupidly and he can just Omni me. Even then, I can reflect the Omni. So, CM, is CM an issue?
Can be.
But
if she's in like no vision or something.
But basically, we understand that how they kill us, right? So based on this, how do we want to play lanes? We just have to play opposite to wherever LC and Kunkka are, right? That's about it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so if Kunkka doesn't, it's like until like this LC gets a blink, I can play freely, and once LC gets blink, I need to just like play opposite to her or hide when she's hiding, until I'm able to just show up in lanes without giving a fuck about her duel. And how does that happen? Lincolns, right? So after Fury Manti by Lincolns, they cannot X me, they cannot duel me, they can't do shit. I can do whatever I want on the map, and I'll win the game. right? Because if they have no ways to kill me, am I just like free to just like cut any wave that I want, prolong the game any way I like?
Yeah.
So this is what you need to understand. It's just like, okay, a lot of AM's issues are just like resolved with E, but there's like certain heroes that actually just like fuck you over and don't like, they just actually don't care about your E, like Puck, like LC. So you need to find a solution for those heroes. Like for Puck, you can't do anything except for buying BKB, but I feel like that's like, you don't buy Manta BKB on this hero. You buy Manta Ags, maybe then after that, if it's actually a big problem or something, but you just like play opposite to wherever Puck is, because Puck likes to show on the map a lot because she wants to farm waves, right? LC doesn't really like to show up on waves. So you will have a solution for everything on this hero. You just have to understand that how exactly do they kill me and what is my solution for it, right? Until I get my Lincolns, I'll play a bit safe, not really show up on lanes that often until LC is also showing, right? Because then I have information, and if that doesn't happen, I'm just gonna like wait for my Lincolns and play off of that. So at this point, it's just like, we know LC doesn't have duel, right? We know that this guy just used his ghost ship, right? So here I can just go, like, it's just like I can go mid and like farm that wave freely. I can do something without being like scared.
Okay.
It's just like I can farm the next wave as well because this guy doesn't even have like a blink yet, right? So we're just chilling. And you know, the fun part is in lower brackets, like in higher brackets, this LC fucking knows that my job in the game is to just hunt you all game. In lower brackets, this LC will get very easily distracted. He's like, oh, there's a fight going on top, I'll just go there. He will forget about you. And you'll see that very soon. So you have like a lot of room. It's just like, there's no point of hitting this tower anymore. It's just like, you can go and farm this. So as an anti-mage, hitting towers is like good and all, but you need to like accelerate your farm as much as possible with your Battle Fury. It's just like the time I'm using to hit this tower, I can farm this, and then be on my way bottom. Right? Because I have Battle Fury. Just accelerate your farm, don't hit towers. Accelerate your farm until you have the items that just like make you super fucking strong. Unless there's anything else to do. Like this is good, right? Again, LC is dead. How exactly do I die? They have no way to kill me. Just go here and farm this. Like, don't be scared of farming this wave. You see, like, you went for the wave late and the LC respawned, right? But if you farmed it before LC was gonna respawn, you would have been fine. Okay, we need to be a bit careful. He probably has blink now. Yep, and you showed on this lane, right? And he's also bottom side. So you can very easily die. You need to be careful. Okay, so you see LC, now you're fine. You can just hit this tower now. Yeah. Easy. Look at mid. Alright, so as an anti-mage, you can also join fights. It's like pretty good, but you have to look at fights. It's just like, okay, there's a fight happening top. I can look at it. I need to look at it. This is your perspective. You're not looking at it. So when you look at it like this, oh, you don't have a TP. So if you have TP here, you TP in, you mana void, they all die. Because it's just like the way they kill me.
Problem.
It's just like the way they kill me is spells that they've already used, right? And then another thing about creep wave timers, right? It's just like, okay, I just killed this wave, right? And now I'm gonna farm this, which is good. And then it's just like, in 7 seconds, the next wave is gonna be here. So you should just go and farm it, right? Because you have a lot of time before you wanna farm this, because it's like a minute. You have a minute, right? So right now I have enough time where these guys are fighting that I can cut another wave without actually dying. And I need to take advantage of that. Then I can farm backwards here, right?
Okay.
But when I go here, it's just like I'm gonna miss the next wave now because the Kunokai is there, right? So you need to use that really like 5 to 10 seconds of window and then just like do what you can. But for that you need to learn creep wave timers, 100%. It's just like next wave is gonna be here. You can cut it because LC is showing top. Most likely does not have a TP. Actually does have a TP, pretty good. Okay, now you can just like cut this wave. But you have to understand one thing. So cutting this wave in daytime and nighttime is like a big difference. I'll tell you why. Okay? Alright, so it's just like next wave is gonna be here in like 6 seconds. Basically here at this point. This point, right? So this is daytime. And then these creeps are gonna see me very fast. Like as soon as they get here, they're gonna see me. Or like here. Look at this. So now the LC can see you. The LC can see you here. So if this guy is even relatively good, he's gonna TP right now and he's gonna duel and kill you. If he is like slightly better than you, he can do it. But let's see if he does it. Like you see, like you're spending so much time hitting this camp, hitting this wave. You can very easily die here, right? If this guy's slightly fast, he's not even thinking about killing you, right? So you don't get punished for it. But you die here, okay. So you have to understand these things. It's like daytime vision, nighttime vision. how much time do I have where I can just like take advantage of these very small timings that you're gonna have. You have to take advantage of them. Just like now I see, you see like this guy's a fucking moron. He's not even chasing you on the map. Like you can do whatever you want. Okay, now you see him here again. He's charged. You guys can actually kill him. Pretty sure. Like you need to like, you should join these fights if you can, because like here it's like you have Manta, right? So you can chill. Like just wait for the perfect opportunity. Kunkka uses Ags and Jug here at this point. So you blinked on the wrong target, I feel like. Mainly because the reason why I say this is like usually it would be nice, but the thing is this Jug doesn't have Fury, right?
Right.
He doesn't have Fury, so I can just jump him. Mana, like use my Manta. Completely deplete his mana, which saves my Necro. Maybe it doesn't save it, but yeah. But basically you can maybe kill this guy. I'm not exactly sure. But if you kill the healing ward and then kill him, it should work. Because he's already like, you can actually go on him. You see that he doesn't have any mana. This guy doesn't have any spell. This guy doesn't have any spells. Let's see if you go for it. You're not going for it because you're not checking these things, right? It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have his ult. This guy doesn't have shit. I can just jump on this guy, no mana, and I can kill him. So this is just like basically understanding how exactly, like every time you pick Anti-Mage in the strategy phase, look at their 5 heroes, try to determine how do they kill you throughout the game. Because sometimes they're gonna buy certain items that will kill you. Like certain heroes can buy Orchid, certain heroes can buy Bloodthorn, certain heroes can buy Rod of Eros, certain heroes can buy Gleipnir, right? Like a lot of your issues are just like resolved by the Manta, but you have to be like a bit understanding about it. Yeah, LC is missing from the map, so we're just chilling. But yes, you should like buy Linken's there, not Ags. Ags is decent, but I would say Linken's allows you to play more freely. That's what you need here.
Yeah, I forgot about the Lincolns.
And then here again, you should join this fight. At least try to see these fights and just like try to see that, okay, if they have, like if I understand that they have no spells to kill me, I can just jump whoever the fuck I want. Quite literally, okay? So even here, it's just like I have money for Ags and I can just buy it from here. So what I can do is that I can buy it and then I can TP on mid if I want to fight. Or something like that. Right? So on Anti-Mage is just like this, what we want to do. Yeah. It's like they're constantly fighting mid, right? So I have like 2 options. Either I cut... So the way they can only force fights with your team is if the fights are happening at your tower, which basically means that they have waves near your tower, right? And your team is like forced to fight them. Otherwise they will lose the tower, right? So when these fights happen, either you need to be already cutting those waves behind so that even if your team loses the fight, they cannot get much more out of it because of backdoor protection. Or you need to join these fights. Or you have to cut that wave before the fight even happens. But you can only do that with the Lincolns, not without the Lincolns.
Right, okay.
So it's like here, Blade Fury is used. He doesn't have enough mana to cast his Omni Slash. If you're looking at that, you would know. And then here, just jump him. Just jump him. Fuck this guy. Right, fuck this guy. Blink, mana void. Nice. This is a good fight. You guys are gonna win. Oh no, he's gonna do... Never mind, Punch saved you. Get out, get out. Ah. It's still good, it's still good. You should go. So, in general, it's just like, if you join these fights a bit earlier, with like, if you're just like watching them, and then it's understanding, okay, so this is how I die, and these are the spells that I need to be wary about. This is like the position that I can get, because Anti-Mage always has the advantage in terms of positioning, right? So if I have that, boom, it's really easy. Like I can join these fights and it's just like very easy. And also whenever you buy Ags, like you see the situation, right? It's just like, okay, if I go on a Jug who doesn't have Blade Fury, he can just run away, right? Because he's kind of like fast with Fair's Roots and shit, right? But if I have a Diffusal, what does he do? Does he just die on the spot?
Jug?
Yeah, it's just like if Jug doesn't have Blade Fury, and I jump him.
Oh, well then yeah. Yeah,
I jump him.
Blade Fury, yeah.
Yeah, I just like Diffusal him and I just like run at him. What happens? Like he just died, right? Like any of their heroes, if you press Diffusal on them, what do they do? But it's just like they have so much movement speed with this fucking boat rum buff, right? It also gives them movement speed and fucking phase boost and shit. So it's like after Ags, you should always buy Diffusal. I'm not even kidding. It's such a fucking broken item. It's like the mana the mana break thing, like the mana depletion thing. It also stacks, right, with your Q.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you buy it mainly for the slow. And the slow is like giga OP. It's just like this hero is like has like an advantage when it comes to basically positioning. And if you have like good positioning advantage and you have like a way to like slow them or like keep them in place, it's kind of super good. Like it's like the reason why people don't buy Basher is that Basher isn't exactly reliable, but Diffusal is 100% reliable, right?
Right.
So you can do whatever you like with it. Okay, duel is used. They can't kill you, right? If you're watching, you should know that. But you TP out, right? Rather than just blinking here, blinking here. So most of Anti-Mage gameplay is just like the most of it, right? It's creep wave timers, understanding kill threat, like what kills me, what doesn't kill me, and then just abusing the fuck out of it. That's literally it. It's like you're very high net worth, and then this is like the third factor is just like join fights when you actually know that you can do something. It's just like you don't have to really commit in. All you have to do is to take advantage of the fact that they don't have spells, blink in, mana void one guy, and just get out. Right? You just have to, I don't know what it's called, maybe collateral? I don't know exactly. But you just basically go at the end and just like kill one guy and just get out. The way you kill CM was like decent, right? You do the same exact thing or you just cut waves. The only way the enemy can end games versus an AM is just like AM gameplay is basically the enemy team runs at your team and your team fights 4v5, right? So they can only fight your team if your team is forced to fight them, correct? And the only way your team is forced to fight them is if they're at your towers or if they're taking Roshan, right? So if they're taking Roshan, if they're at your towers, there's only one reason why that is happening. Is because they have waves, right? Their lanes are pushed into you. That's why that they are able to do that. If I'm constantly cutting waves, they can never do that, right? And if they're just like running around holding ads as 5, they will have no net worth. And if they don't have any net worth and I'm cutting waves and I'm farming, I will just own them, right? So this is what you need to focus on, right? And the only way you can cut waves is if you understand what kills me, what doesn't, and you just like play to your absolute limits, right? In this case, if you have a linkage, they literally have 0 ways to kill you. Quite literally, they cannot do anything. You just like read the map and just like keep playing aggressively, and then just join fights when you can, and buy diffusal after Ags. Like these smaller things will just like literally carry your game. All right. Yeah. Like here again, right? It's just like, oh yeah, there's just like this shit going on, right? They have ages and everything, but I see this guy, right? So I can go from here, I can blink on him, I can, like if I have diffusal, I'll just blink on him, diffusal, illusions with Ags, and just mana void and blink out. Like they can't even reach you in time because you're so fast with Ags and everything. But it's just like you don't want to stand here. Just buy a TP, always remember to buy TP and cut the next wave, or let's like push out mid. Because you're absolutely not fighting them here, right? Because they have all heroes alive and they have a lot of things. You cannot blink in. Okay, send Ags, which is good. Need to wait for this guy's Torrent Storm, and you need to also be aware of one guy who's missing from these fights. Lil bro. I don't even think he can kill you actually. I think you kill him instead. I don't think he can kill you, even with like this he's blade mill and shit. Okay, now this is good, but imagine if there's a diffusal here. You think this spot just runs away? No. I would fuck his ass, right? No. Yeah. This is like the issue. Just like need to absolutely have an like AM is literally just understanding kill threat and just like abusing the fuck out of it. Like just that alone will just like carry you a lot of games. It's just like Dota is like a beautiful game, right? Whenever you pick Anti-Mage, there's a reason you pick Anti-Mage, right? Oh, they don't have any catch. Oh, they have like a lot of intelligence heroes, right? That's why you pick it. So when you pick it, you have a decent bit of idea of like how exactly do they kill me, right? So when you're in strategy phase, just understand, okay, so this, right? Because you need to understand that these guys are horrendously bad. Did you see this guy even try to duel you once this entire game? No, he didn't, right? So these guys are like really bad. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you're against 5 counters as AM, as long as you understand how you play around them and how you counter them instead, right? You will win games on this hero, regardless. So this is what you absolutely have to focus on. Actually, like a pretty decent game. to understand like how exactly and what exactly do I need to do as anti-mage, right? These things can be applied to other heroes as well. It's just like, yeah, I can apply this to Faceless Void maybe, right? Other things. It's just like here, okay, so it's just like I'm still very scared to show up on the map, right? And as an AM, if you're not able to show up on the map, it's very sad. X marking again and again, and you get dueled, right? So, yeah. But yeah. I feel like this is a 100% game that you can 1v9 very easily. But yes, of course, like there's like a lot of things that you should be doing, and then you can 1v9. And you see like the early fights that you didn't have TP for, or you were not watching. If your team or you manage to actually just get something out of those fights, even if you don't win them fully, but it's like you don't lose or get stomped in those fights, the game gets delayed. And when the game gets delayed, Anti-Mage comes online, the game becomes easier, right? And it's just like if they win those fights, they can snowball and end the game before I can even do anything, right? So this is why it's just like kind of important to watch these fights and understand that, okay, yeah, at this point it's just like if they can't kill me and I have this positioning advantage, it's like because when they go in a fight, they press buttons. When they press buttons, they lose mana. They lose HP when they fight and mana, right? So it's not like, it's very rare that you will not get anything out of these fights if you're watching them and just like going at the end. Unless they have just like very low cooldown spells that kill you. In this case, they don't. If they have like big cooldown spells, then you're just like free. Yeah, now I feel like this game is probably over. Not do much here. When this guy is like fat now. He has like Eternal Shroud and Shivers. Yeah, and then Jug probably has a butterfly, yeah. It's like I need Diffusal MKB here. Not Scotty. Scotty is actually such a dog shit item.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very bad item. I don't like it. It's like Scotty doesn't go through BKB, right? I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
And then if I want to buy stats on this hero, I just buy something else. Like it's like you get stats from Ags, right? It's probably the same as this. I mean, not exactly the same, but you get a lot of stats from Ags. All you have to do is just like basically buy items that like it's like Diffusal MKB. This Jug presses Q once or some shit, and all base result, I'll just like keep sending illusions on him. Because the thing is now you can just like press Ags on Jug, but he doesn't care. He has like butterfly, right? So you cannot deplete his mana. It's just like the thing with Ags that you constantly send illusions on one guy, and you like get rid of his mana, and then eventually you just jump in when he can't press his buttons, and you can just press Diffusal and then you kill him with Manta. That's how Ags works. But if you don't have Diffusal, you don't do that well. Yeah, I guess this game is over. So yeah, it's just like if I have to like summarize from the start till the end. So in the laning phase, your biggest problems is one is that you're not really thinking about double waves that much, as in you're really like thinking about what happens, like what is happening to the lane. Right, they have like so many creeps, what's gonna happen to the lane? They're gonna push into me. Like the goal is to have the same number of creeps on both sides. And that is usually 4, not more than that. Right? The idea is to have the same number of creeps on both sides, and you can control that by pulling, by aggroing inside tower, by right clicking creeps, by denying creeps, so many things you can do, right? You have full control over that. And then after that, problem that you had was just like you need to understand what actually kills you in the lane, and then just like take advantage of that. Try to aggro creeps in a proper way, and then it's like last time. Aggro creeps to a position where the enemy cannot contest you. And the third, the biggest issue in the lane is that you're not focused on how do I get creep waves. It's like if the creep wave is in a bad position, how do I bring it back? Which is basically pulling. You do these 3 things, and you don't die in lane, you get a kill, you're gonna get Battle Fury 12-13 minutes every fucking game. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Like, I play a lot of this hero, right? And you can see, like, I have a decent win rate as well. And it was like, there was a point, so I was playing, like, an in-house league. And in that in-house league, I would never get Anti-Mage. Because the thing about Anti-Mage is that you have to shut this guy down before he gets his Battle Fury, right? And if you play against a good Anti-Mage, you cannot do that. It's really fucking hard to do that. Especially if you don't have enough counters. So, you do these things, and you get, like, 12 minutes, 30 minutes Battle Fury, you're gonna get Yasha very quickly. And after that, all you have to do is understand how do you die and buy solutions for it and play in a way where you have the solution for it. It's just like majority of the heroes will just be countered by your Manta. So until Manta, I'm going to play a bit AFK. I'll just like show up in lanes if the guy I need mana for is just like doesn't have a spell, or is just like on the opposite side of the map and cannot reach me, because Anti-Mage has this advantage in terms of mobility. Not a lot of heroes can move at the same pace as you do, right? So you can abuse that. And then after that is just like, okay, now I have an understanding of what kills me, what doesn't. Now I have to understand creep wave timers and just like keep cutting waves, right? I need to understand that, okay, so if fights happen, I need to watch them and see whether I can join them and just like get some kills out of it. Or if I know that there's like absolutely no fucking way we can fight, right? There's like no chance. Then you have to make sure a fight never happens. And how do you do that? By cutting waves and never letting them have a position where they can force objectives like Roshan and towers, right? They can only do that if they have waves pushed into you. Like for example, you cannot go out of this map right now because why? Wave pushed in, wave pushed in, wave pushed in. You cannot do anything, right? Because you have no information this entire map because the waves are pushed in. So kill threat understanding and then cutting waves and joining fights and then just buying diffusal, axe diffusal. Like if you look at all of my games, literally all of my games, not a single game will not have axe diffusal. Like I'll just put it a random game, right? Or just a random game. What is my build? Axe diffusal. And then after that it's just like, okay. After that it's just like, usually I would buy butterfly here versus this morph. But the thing is, they have like orchid and Glypnir, right? So I need like multiple dispels. So I go disperser. I have multiple dispels. And also disperser is pretty good against Kunkka Axe. You can run away. And he also like, they have like multiple orchids, right? And after that it's just like, maybe I buy MKB because this guy's butterfly, right? And then we just win the game. Then we just win the game. Right, this game we were probably losing, right? We were losing, but since I basically probably cut a lot of waves and everything, now we can just win. So it's like these things, if you fix, and I don't think they're very hard to fix either. They're a very straightforward solution, right? It's not like I have to really, you know, think a lot about this. It's not like that. It's like simple solutions for everything, which I have mentioned. So you do this, you follow this framework, and I feel like you play more Anti-Mage, your Anti-Mage is going to be really good. You can probably play like at a 4K level with this hero. The thing is, when you understand these kill threat things, it's just like you farm faster as well. I'll tell you why. Because then you're not going to be scared of showing up on creep waves, right? And when you show up on creep waves, you get a lot more gold than from jungle creeps, right? I'm sure you know that. So this is what I feel like you should work on. And yeah, that's about all I can add for this replay. If you wish to gain MMR and become a better player, I offer coaching packages where I personally help you to get better. Slots have been opened for May. If you're interested in that or educational discussions, join my Discord linked in the description. Other than that, I'm currently on my road to 10k MMR and stream educational content regularly on my Twitch channel. You can follow it in the description. Also, check out my Patreon where I offer a lot of perks. Lastly, do make sure to subscribe and like the video for more high quality content like this, and do let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments.